Welcome to Jas Bassi's video blogs. Today we will be having question and answers, and the questions are all about me, and I'll be answering them just off the cuff as one would if I was asked by someone else. So let's proceed. I find this to be the most common question that I get asked all the time, and I find it one of the most hardest questions to actually answer, because I find my work to be something which is very, very hard for me to describe, because even I can't describe it in words, and it's such an amazing job that I do. I would say you can call me a healer, you could call me a therapist, you could call me somebody who works with unseen energies, or paranormal activity, or like I was described the other day, Jas the Exorcist, which I found a bit like scary at the same time, but it was like, wow, that sounds good. I work with energy, the auric field. It's also information that I know about people without them telling me. So how would I describe it? Well, I describe myself as a healer, somebody who makes people well, tries to make people well, helps people through difficult patches, brings peace to situations. I think everybody's born naturally with some sort of quality or ability. Some people depress it or suppress it, or lose it along the way, and some people go on to use it as another add-on. I've always had it, but I've always denied what I had. I always saw it as in a negative context. So over the years, I think now, how long have I been a healer? I'd say for the last... Professionally, I've been a healer for 10 years or more, I think. But as a profession, but have I been doing this for a long time? Yes, I have. I think we do it. I think everybody does it on a daily basis with the miracles that occur around us. So it's just one of those things. Once again, can't really go in depth with it because it's speechless. My childhood was a normal childhood that everybody experienced, I think, in the 1980s, growing up in an Asian house. It was no different. We had certain rituals that we did around the house, like getting up in the morning, saying our prayers, doing the incense, paying our respects. It was we had traditional rituals, which at the end of the day nobody questioned, nobody knew why they were doing them. Obviously now I totally understand the spiritual aspects and also the cleansing rituals that were performed around the property and the house to purify it. So my childhood, did it shape me to be who I am today? Yes, definitely. I will not say that any of my experiences were bad. Yes, they weren't pleasant, but they shaped me to be who I am today, to use my discernment, my judgment, to be a strong character as well at the same time. So when did I realize I had this gift? I never realized I had it until I realized when I was in high school. And I remember saying to a young lady who was a good friend of mine that I could see certain things, and she didn't understand what I was talking about. And that's when I realized that not everybody saw what I saw. There have been many times when I've tried to suppress my abilities. I normally call it where I dumb them down. I've done it for many years, and I do find myself doing it sometimes now as well, where when I'm sitting with people who don't know what I do, who aren't aware of what my day job is, I'll sit there and I'll dumb down. And when I'm asked, well, what do you do? So what is your profession? I'll say I'm a therapist. I don't actually openly admit that I'm actually a healer or a spiritual healer and able to work with unseen energies and help people to the extent that I'm able to do. So regardless of doing it as a child, I'm still doing it to this day, only because when I get into conversation with people who aren't on that wavelength, they still don't understand. It doesn't matter if I have an hour conversation or a 10-week conversation with them, they won't get what I do until they've come in and had an appointment and seen the effects of my work. The path that I'm on has got two sides to it. It's the most beautiful and rewarding path. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It shows me miracles every day. I see beauty in people. I absolutely love the work that I do, and I love the results that my work brings out. But at the same time, it's very difficult because it's a very lonely path, and only like-minded people will understand what it's like. It's really hard to talk to someone or describe to somebody the work that you do. Only people who see, sense, feel what you have can understand to what extent you work. Human brain or the human person cannot comprehend that this exists because it's not it's unseen. What I love about this work that I do, and I will never give it up, is seeing the end results of seeing that smile when I've actually finished doing the work, to see that person 3 months later, 6 months later, or to see them a year later and they've achieved the results. Because what people forget is they expect a miracle to occur when they're with me. They expect this massive miracle, but everything in life takes time. So even though you've had the work done on you, the results might come in 3 months, they might come in, let's say, 2 weeks, they might come the next day. But you have to understand, if they came overnight, people would not be able to comprehend, they would not be able to handle what happened. So there is a transition. You have to go with the laws of time, you have to go with the law of attraction, and you have to go with the law of karma. And everything has a time and a space for everything that happens. Just because you've been cleared of all sorts of energies and you've been healed, you're not going to wake up the next morning and say, that's it, I've given up this addiction, or I've lost, let's say, the weight I wanted to lose. It's not going to happen straight away. Yes, a month later, or let's say 2 weeks later, the results will occur, because healing energy stays with the person for 2 weeks to a month. You have that healing energy with you. And also, it takes time, because if you do something erratically, let's say quickly, the body cannot, it can't absorb it that quickly. So everything that's done is actually done over time. So even though you don't see me for 2 weeks, the healing energy itself will continue to work. The most memorable experience as a healer would be, God, there's so many. My most memorable, and the one that I cherish the most, is one of my clients who the family had given up on. He was quite ill, and then he made a speedy recovery, and it was nice to see the happiness that he brought to the family, that their son had returned back to normal health. I'm not saying it was me, I'm not saying it was the work that I did, but the power of prayer is very powerful. And anybody that asks for spiritual intervention from God, Creator, Source, Guides, Team, Angels, Archangels, you are going to get a result. But there's so many results I've seen, and I'm a great believer that I like to see really positive, happy results with my work. But it's I can't even describe how much I've seen. But the most beautiful results for me, not talking about humans here, is when I work with beautiful ascended masters or guides, and I see them walk into my room when I'm working, and sometimes I see them and I feel them and I sense them, and it's such a beautiful experience for me. I feel very privileged to be working in such company. And also when I get people who acknowledge me for my work. So when I get them walking through my door and they're like, we know who you are, we know what you've done. It's also a grave achievement to see that, my work is recognised. Can anybody do what I do? That's a difficult question. I didn't believe I could do what I did, but at the same time, can anybody do what I do? I don't know. I really don't know. Do people have as much faith as I do? Do people actually believe in themselves? Do people actually want to help people? Do people want people to be better than them? Do you want to see people succeed? Do you want to see the best results for humanity? If you're holding jealousy and competition, then I don't think this is for you. Okay, what does the future hold for Jas Bassi? I'm hoping it holds a lot of love. I hope that God has listened to my prayers. So you've got to understand there's two sides to my life. You have my work and my profession, and then you have my personal life. My work is where I am in my power. I'm able to see miracles and work with the beings of light. And then you have my personal life. And I always ask all my clients or people that know me to respect my personal life. And I always find that people do cross the boundaries with me. That's the only time I get very upset, is when people don't give me my personal space, allow me to have my personal time, or infringe on the fact that I do have a human existence regardless of my work. But going back to Jas Bassi the healer, and not Jas Bassi in her personal life, I would say that I want to see my work go from strength to strength. I want to see that I'm able to achieve more. I would obviously like to publish my book. I would love to do work, do more TV work, and obviously more blogs, and spread the message out to people that need to know more about what exists out there, which is not available. Thank you for watching me once again. Thank you for the questions, and hopefully I've answered them to your liking. So thank you all for watching Jas Bassi. Please follow my website, which is www.jasbassi.com. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. See you on the next blog. Thank you so much. God bless. Take care.